Hey, this is Leif Ganford. I played the cash register thief in The Amazing Spider-Man, and you're listening to the Everything Geek podcast.
Hey, this is Rich McDonald, and I play Commander David Mason on Call of Duty Black Ops 2. You're listening to Everything Geek podcast.
Hello, I'm Simon Fisherbecker. You probably know me better as Dorian Moldovar from Doctor Who, or the Fat Friar from Harry Potter. And this is Everything Geek Podcast.
Your attention, masters, mistresses. All systems functional for the Everything Geek Podcast.
Hey, it's James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Master Plo Koon in Star Wars The Clone Wars, and you're listening to Everything Geek, the podcast.
Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot with the Everything Geek podcast.
Hello, everyone. You're listening to the Everything Geek podcast. I'm your host, Ruari, and joining me today is a very special guest. We have actor Martin Ballantyne, who is best known for playing the Joker's henchman in Batman The Dark Knight, and Mundungus, Fletcher's associate in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. So how are you, Martin?
Hi, Rory. Are you right?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Not bad at all, thanks.
Yeah, it's great to have you join us on the podcast.
Yeah, it's very kind to you for you to ask. Cheers.
Yeah. So getting right into the questions, my first question for you is, how did you decide you wanted to be an actor?
I sort of fell into it, really. I started off on stage, did amateur dramatics about 10 years ago, and it sort of went from there, really. People say, oh, you try and get yourself on screen. So I sent off some headshots to various sort of agencies. I ended up getting a few sort of smallish roles in some British TV and British films, and that sort of snowballed. And went from there, ended up being in Golden Compass, playing a Trollerson, and that led to my role in the actual Dark Knight, which then led on to the Harry Potter films. But, I mean, there was a lot going on there. I mean, it's quite a long sort of process and lots of driving all up and down the country and that kind of thing. But, yeah, it was definitely worth it in the end.
Very nice, yeah. So my second question is, how did you first get involved with Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows?
Well, like I said originally, I was asked to be in the I was asked to be in Batman Dark Knight first of all, and because that's Warner Brothers, they wanted a big guy for the Harry Potter film. Originally, I was in the which one was that? So I was in the Deathly Hallows Part 1, but before that I was in the previous film playing a smallish part, and they got me back. And when I got there for the actual Deathly Hallows Part 1, they wanted someone with a few lines. So they very kindly put me forward and asked if I would be up for it, and I said yes. And I ended up playing Mundungus, Fletcher's associate, with the great actor Andy Linden.
Very nice, definitely.
Sorry?
I said very nice.
Yeah, no, that was great experience working on that one. Yes, it really was.
Yeah, very cool. My third question is, what was your experience like on the sets of Harry Potter and the Dark Knight?
On the Deathly Hallows, it was very, very professional. I mean, it was quite intimidating because I was sort of surrounded by some very famous actors, and like I said, it was a little bit intimidating. But everyone was really friendly, really nice, and no, I was just so pleased that they were happy with me, and I ended up in the final edit because obviously so many people get cut out of films. So yeah, no, it was great. It was like a big family, to be honest. Everyone was very friendly, and I'd love to do it again if I could. If they do any more, that'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully they will at some point.
I hope so. Yes.
Yeah. After all, they're doing a few new Harry Potter things when Effie Potter is done. Like they're doing that film based on one of the books, I think. You know, the creatures
you're right,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, and then they're doing a play or something in London, I think.
I think it'll go on forever, to be honest. Harry Potter is such a massive franchise.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I went to a convention last year, and it was like the first convention I've ever gone to that had a Harry Potter guest in. And I mean, he wasn't like a huge part. I mean, well, he was in most of the movies. He was Chris Rankin, who played Percy Weasley.
Yeah,
and he
was a friend of mine, Chris. I've done some shows with Chris.
Yeah, very nice. I mean,
because he lives near me.
Cool. Yeah, and like he isn't really a huge part, but I mean, he was easily the most popular guest that was there, and it really just showed how popular Harry Potter is.
Harry Potter is absolutely massive. I mean, I do quite a few shows, and people always like to chat to me about Harry Potter and Batman, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. And what was it like on the Batman set?
It was very intense. Obviously, as you're probably aware, Heath Ledger was going through quite a lot of issues, but he was a very, very intense actor. Great guy, and obviously he's very sadly missed. Working with Nolan, he was, as a director, he was the most intense director I've ever worked with. He was very, very tactile and very in my face, but as a director, unbelievable. And again, that was an experience which I don't think I'll ever repeat. I mean, that was an amazing time. And to be honest, it's probably my favourite film out of all my films I've done. Just working with such great legends like Nolan and Ledger.
What was it like working with the cast and crew of Harry Potter and Batman?
Like I said, just very, very professional. Everyone knew what they were doing, so it was an experience. I mean, I've done quite a few sort of other films, like non-sort of Hollywoody films, and it was a different experience. It was just, to be honest, it was just the scale of the films I was involved in the sets. Everything was so much bigger. You could see there was a lot of money being spent, but I mean, it doesn't take away anything from the lesser, the British films, the cheaper films, if you like. But like I said, it was a very, very grand scale of on the films I was actually working on, and that came across on set.
Very nice. My fifth question is, what is the strangest acting role you've had?
Before I did Harry Potter and Batman, I did do a zombie film. A lot of people, obviously, really big into zombies, and as I was, with my friend, we actually wrote an authorised stage play of Shaun of the Dead. At the same time while we were writing this, I was contacted by a gentleman called David Pope, who was was going to be a director of a zombie film. And he knew that I was working on this stage play of Shaun of the Dead, and I said to him that I'm quite keen to play a zombie, and I ended up playing a zombie in a film called Gasoline Blood, which you can actually watch online. I'm very proud of it, but it's probably the strangest thing. But it was, as an actor, I had a few goals, and one of them was to play a zombie in a film. So I'm quite chuffed that I can tick that off my bucket list, if you like. So playing a zombie in Gasoline Blood, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And my sixth question, which you kind of answered already, is: do you ever go to conventions and meet fans of your work?
Yeah, I do a lot of conventions, to be honest. Probably between 10 and 15 a year. I was at the NEC at the Comic-Con last year. I'll be doing some various events this year. I'm at the UEA, which is in Norwich, for a sci-fi convention. And I do mainly sort of local events. I live in Norfolk in England. And I have an agent who gets me to do events. I open fates and go to various things, sort of a relatively small scale, but it's good fun. I get to meet people. And I do that kind of thing, and it's great. I really enjoy it. I've done a few little sort of signings in shops and things, which is good fun. So yeah, and people come and chat to me, and I'll try and be as pleasant as I can. And people want photos, which is cool. And I've got lots of photos from Batman and the Harry Potter films, which I sign for people. So yes, it is all good. I'm really proud to be sort of part of the whole sort of franchise thing. When it comes to films like that, I mean, I think, to be honest, my friend said it. He said I'll be signing pictures from Batman and Harry Potter for the rest of my life, which I probably will be. So.
Yeah, I won't be surprised, to be honest, given the huge popularity of both.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my final question is, do you have any upcoming acting roles or other projects you would like to talk about?
Well, at the moment, it's a sort of a bit of a secret thing, but I'm going to divulge it because I have been liaising with someone. I may well have a role in the new Star Wars film, which would be amazing for me. I'm in talks at the moment, so that would be, for me, that would be unbelievable. Being a massive Star Wars fan, as most people are in the world. So
that makes two of us here.
So yeah. I hopefully will be. Even if it's a small, which it probably would be a small part, because every actor in the world wants to be in Star Wars. So
but
I'm up for
fair, But to be fair, though, Star Wars is like the hugest franchise out there. I mean,
yes.
I've always, half jokingly, half not, said to a lot of people, if you're in Star Wars, you're set for life as far as autograph signings and all go.
You're spot on. I mean, I do a lot of shows with guys from Star Wars, and I've got a lot of friends. John Chapman's a very good friend. Derek Lyons, they've all had relatively small parts in Star Wars. And, 35 years later, they're still signing autographs. And, it's like their pension, and they do really well. But on a personal note, I'm working on a lot of my own films at the moment, as you pointed out on your Facebook page. I've done a film called Z-Lister, which was the second part of my trilogy, the first part being Log Time. I've just finished filming a third part called Ticketer, which is now in post-production. And we're working on the sequel to the second part, which is called Z-Listers. And that's about Z-list celebrities who actually go to conventions. So it's quite apt, really, because it's sort of similar to what I actually do. But and I had John Chapman actually in that, and I think we've got Derek Lyons in the next one. So I've actually got a lot of my friends from Star Wars appearing in my films, which is great fun.
That's really cool. So thank you very much for answering all of my questions. And we do have a question from our live chat for you from our listener Harrison. He asks, is there any roles you like doing on set for Harry Potter?
Is there any what, sorry?
Is there any roles you like doing on set for Harry Potter?
Well, I mean, the role I had was relatively small, but I mean, it was great doing it. I mean, obviously having a larger part in Harry Potter would have been lovely. I mean, being a Death Eater would have been pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, they have such a great design. I mean, that's what makes them really cool. Yeah.
But I mean, it was great fun. Like I say, I got to walk down and film down Diagon Alley. And like I say, Andy Linden, who played Mundungus Fletcher, is such a lovely man. And I think the reason they wanted me, I'm a tall guy, I'm 6'3", and Andy Linden is quite short. They want the juxtaposition of the difference in height between myself and him. And I was the tallest person at the time, which is why I got chosen. So it was like I say, it was an experience.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you very much, Martin, for joining us on the podcast. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for having me. That's been great.
And hopefully we can talk to you again at some point, especially if you get into Star Wars Episode 7.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I think my life will change if I end up in Star Wars.
I think everyone would say that. Yeah. Except that,
That'll be the first no if I get it confirmed.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, so talk to you soon then. Bye.
Okay.
Make sure to check out our YouTube channels and podcasts is www.youtube.com/user/everythinggeekcast. Mine is www.youtube.com/user/Separatist Destroyers. Check out Martin Ballantyne's website, www.castnet.websites.co.uk/designs. And check out Channel 1 on Create, where we broadcast live from www.channel1oncreate.com. So geeks out, everyone.